supporting the No More campaign. We know that more than 100 women, children and men were killed last year in Australia as a result of family and domestic violence. These are more than numbers. They're people's wives, children, husbands, parents, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts and friends. The No More campaign uses the power of sport to change the way the public views family violence. Founded right here in the Northern Territory in 2006 by ABC commentator Charlie King, after talking with men in Aboriginal communities about the issues they face. The elders told Charlie no more and all men should link up. So today, let's all work together to reduce the numbers of victims of family, domestic and sexual violence. It might sound small, but signing up and pledging your support at nomore.org.au can add your voice to the national call to end violence. And if your club would like to establish your own domestic violence action plan or host a No More Violence Day and fundraiser, you can go to nomore.org.au to see the template or contact No More directly for support. In a few moments' time, when the players and umpires make their way out onto the field, they will link arms in support of the No More campaign. It's happening in a few minutes' time.
Whether the odds be great or small, we will come out
Well, as part of today's No More round, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Motlop, No More, from the No More campaign, will be doing today's coin toss on the screen now. With Southern Districts winning the toss and electing to kick to the airport end.
More than 80 Australian women and men were killed last year by family violence. The No More campaign uses the power of sport to change the way the public views family violence. The linking of arms is a symbolic statement to show that everyone who links up is committed to ending the violence, no matter where or who they are. When these players link arms today, they're raising awareness about the issue and sending a strong message to everyone that family violence is never acceptable. Today, we congratulate both teams on taking a stand against family and domestic violence. Sign up to show your support at nomore.org.au.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please thank the clubs as part, they link arms as part of the No More campaign.
Their final instructions from their coaches and the senior players, and this is going to be a vital round 17 match, more so for the Crocodiles, who sit in 5th, trying to find some form going into the final series. They're there, they cannot be knocked out of 5th place. Shannon Rusker has just walked away from the huddle. He's given his final messages. And for the Palmerston Magpies, you heard there from Natasha Medbury, they're debuting 3 players in the second last round of the NTFL, and this is going to be a tall order. But when you have a look at the margins that they lost to in round 8 and round 3, can they improve in that? Or more importantly, can they cause a huge upset here at the 2:30 match in round 17 of the NTFL? I'm Shannon Byrne. Our expert today is Dominic McCormack, and joining us for the first bounce of the ball this afternoon at Marara Oval number 1, Natasha Medbury.
Thanks, Shannon. So just going to their places now. Yes, let's hope that it's a good quality game. Everyone likes a good game. Just watching to see where the young players are going. So 2 of the new ones are starting on the ground, which is a good sign. You always want to get it touched pretty early.
Dominic, quickly, what's your prediction and why?
Oh, look, prediction, Southern Districts, they've just got so much more to play for. They have to win. They need to win well. But I expect Palmerston to put up a fight here, I really do. Many young players. Matt Dennis in the team who'll lead the players from the front. Lonergan out there, who's a very proud captain. They'll do well, I think, from an effort perspective, but I think Southern Districts got too much class.
My heart tells me the black and white. My head tells me Southern Districts.
Would have to agree. We're all going for the Crocs, but the margin is going to be very, very interesting as they run into the finals.
So the umpire throws the ball up. Dennis against Gallo. Dennis wins it down. Magpies are going to clear it through Emery. Thumping kick just lands in front of Timms for the Magpies. Michael Bowden's there for the Crocs, and it's just going to steer it over the boundary. It looked like it come off a leg, but it was above the knee. So boundary throw in on the 50, grandstand side. So good clearance to start. That's the difference Matty Dennis brings to the team, as he's going to go up again against Gallo. Wins front spot, taps it down. No runners there for him. Again, Emery just been on fire this season, Mr. Consistent. Good work by Bowden. So the Crocs are going to clean up here in the back. Goes to Dingo. Keegan Dingo kicks it wide. Looking for a player, and that's good hands out there. Looks inboard through the corridor, so that's a good kick to Warung. Hand passing to a teammate running past. Just an up and under kick, hard for the forward, but Will Farrell's broken away here. Tries to take a chest mark. Probably need to take it with the arms out, and Magpies are going to clear it here.
So they come down the grandstand wing, but it's been chopped off by Horbury. They were looking for Emery, and Horbury's put it straight back in, and a quick kick has found Garlett in the left forward pocket, and he's turned around. He's gone quickly to and found an unmarked player. Swirls around Southern Districts, and they're going to get their first point, as that has just gone to the left, and that's very disappointing there from Jaden Clark. And Garlett and Clark have played on too quickly, and they've missed everything to the left.
Matty Ray takes off with it, just pushed as he kicked the footy. It's going to go out of bounds in front of the interchange for the Pies, in front of Perry Jr.
Good positive start here from both teams. I'm impressed with the way that Palmerston have moved the ball, particularly through Matty Dennis, but wonderful quick play by Southern Districts to get the ball into their forward 50. Very disappointing that they didn't score the first goal.
So Dennis again just outbodies his opponent, gets boot to ball, looking for the captain, but well read by Dingo at the back. Geez, he reads that footy so well, doesn't he, Keegan Dingo? Bit of a touch player now these days as well. I see him down on the touch fields on a Monday night. Hand passes to Bowden, then taken high. The umpire didn't see it. Good hands. Southern District's looking good here, just with the hand passes at the back. Garlett gets a hand to it. Can he butter up? No. Taken high again. The umpire says play on. Districts have it through Staunton. Staunton tries to deliver in the corridor. Goes with that as Horbury, sorry. So wrapped up is Cole Emery, and the umpire's going to ball it up. So good attacking work by Southern Districts, with good defensive work by the Pies as well.
Brandon Rusker putting some body pressure on there. Good tackle from him.
Dennis wins it easily down the ruck, tries to get it off the ground. Touch forward by the Crocs, down, still on the ground. Not able to pick it up cleanly at the moment. And over the ball, it comes back out to McAdam. McAdam just chips it in cleverly inside the forward 50. And 40 metres out, Southern Districts are going to have their first shot on goal through Horbury, who's been very busy at the start of this match. Though standing in front of him is Matt Dennis. No, he's going to run back to the goal square.
That's experience, isn't it?
Because he could get a touch if this is not high enough. He's sent Michaud Perry Jr. onto the mark.
How good does young Jaden Watt's been since he's come into the side?
So, Horbury with a set shot, just goes over the 50, slight angle to the right, left kicker leans back on that, and he's got the distance, and he's taken a straight kick over the umpire's hat and over Matt Dennis as well by a good couple of metres, and Horbury has got Southern District's first goal. They're 1-1-7, leading Palmerston, yet to score 4 minutes gone opening term.
Oh, just good forward pressure there by Southern Districts, really well. Young Jaden Watts there, very impressive. Missed the ball initially, gathered it, got it to McAdam. McAdam just calm, lovely left foot kick onto Horbury, who, as Shannon Burns said a moment ago, in the action early here and using his kicks to good effect. But Southern Districts, good intent, numbers around the footy. They've had 2 or 3 forward 50 entries already, deserve to have a goal on the board.
So back in the middle, and 2 Bulls are in the middle, and that's Matty Cannard and Aaron Lonergan for the Pies. Like to see those two go head to head again. Dennis wins it down, taken away by Philo. It's Josh Philo in his first game. Some Districts here on the far wing. Good tackle, but breaks the tackle. Well done by Rusker. Rusker inboard Staunton. Usually a good deliverer of the ball. Fell over was Josiah Farrer, so an easy, uncontested mark taken by Anson. Kicks it out wide to Riley. Stone kicks it down the line, the back. The umpire says play on. Thought that was in the back by Dingo.
Very
that
lucky.
that, but back to Perry Jr. Just does a little kick. Dennis plays on, looking for his captain and Lonergan. Delivers it down to the forward line, and easily chopped off there by the Southern District defender, and they're in the clear here.
And they're away down the middle from the goal scorer, Horbury. He sends it forward, and a great juggling mark from Will Farrer, the captain. And that was a great passage. 2 kicks from the defensive 50. They're now lining up for their second goal. And Will Farrer directly in front. picks up the blade of grass, just checks the breeze. There is a slight breeze behind him. And he's going to have to hit this 45 metres out. Has he got the distance?
I think so. It was a good kick.
He just crosses the paint of 50. Quick stutter. And he's kicked through this. It's got the distance all right, and even better, it's got the accuracy. So Will Farrer has got his team the second for the afternoon. Districts 2-1. And that is 13 leading Palmerston, yet to score. 6 minutes gone, opening term.
Again, good play from Southern Districts. And here he is, the man of the moment, really, Nathan Horbury, who's just come off the ground. What a beautiful kick that was. But they were just positive from defence. Took the ball, I think it was Werong, and he just kept running. Brought the ball into the midfield. Good lead by Will Farrer. I want to see him today jumping at the football, not jumping under the football. He really needs to have a big game for his own confidence. He did that then. His ball drop was terrible, but somehow he made it look good and he kicked the footy through for a goal. So I hope that that is good for his confidence today.
Back in the middle, Corbett's now in the ruck for Southern Districts. Either team trying to break away here. Garling picks it up for the Magpies. Good delivery out wide. So a good mark taken here by Stone, right in front of our commentary box. Probably a poor kick, but in the end it goes over the top of Corbett. So the first gamer, and Smith takes his first mark, gets his first touch in Premier League. Kendall Garling was dumped, but the umpire says play on, kicks it over to Shadford. Shadford just trying to get the footy there to Campbell. No communication there by the Magpies. Districts are going to go back. Linking hands here through the middle. Just trying to pick up a player, kicks it forward now. It's a poor kick, but Masters can't take the mark. Using his body well. The umpire says play on. Ducked his head. Good hands back out to Freeman. Just trying to break the pack. Church's hand passes to his opponent. So the Crocs are going in hard here. So are the Magpies trying to get it out. No one can win the footy now. They do. Taken high. The umpire says play on. That's a big tackle. And that's the first game of the under-18s. That's Tom Smith. And the umpires found a free kick out of it, so hopefully his teammates can get there. He's only a young fella. And Matty Cannard lets him know all about it, the old bull.
So they go forward, the Southern Districts again, but it's an ugly kick inside the forward 50, easily marked by McMasters. He tries to play on quickly on the outer wing. Kick's gone over the head of Matthew Philo, and it is going to bounce out underneath the flags on the outer side. Probably not the best option there for McMaster to play on quickly, and probably not the best option to kick it over his head. No,
exactly. Just showing those signs there,
Poor
Palmerston,
kick.
just not using the ball well, not being calm under pressure.
Throw in, and it's gone to the left, and Matt Dennis has got a fingernail to it. Ball down on the ground, kicked up and under by Schofield. Hasn't travelled too far when it was tossed back into play. Head over the ball is Staunton, and it is going to be on the ground. Dribbles out. Now it is through Emery. The Magpies have got it away down inside their forward 50. 2-on-2, and it is going to be the Crocs that are going to be able to rebound nicely on the outer wing underneath the scoreboard. And inside is free Staunton again. He takes off inside the forward 50, looking for and finding Will Farrer. Dropped the mark he should have taken, and that is going to be a throw, incorrect disposal. And Will Farrer wasn't able to get a handball away, and Magpies are going to come out of trouble.
That was Perry Jr. Kicks it out to Stone. Stone up the line. Emery's running hard for him. Big Corbett's after him, the ruckman for Districts. Just spins around. Emery, usually a good deliverer, puts it to the top of the square. Tim should take an uncontested mark. Goes straight through the bread basket, mind you. They're down there. The first gamer and Justin Taylor. Will it bounce through? It does. No. Cliffy Timms, I reckon, actually helped that one through. So the Palmerston have their first goal on the board. And the first gamer and Justin Taylor nearly got his first goal with his first touch, but just helped over the line by Cliffy Timms.
And that's a goal that Palmerston really deserved. They literally fumbled their way through it. They had a number of opportunities there, and that's been their story so far. Lucky that wasn't given as a throw then. That was very fortunate indeed. Clifford Timms on the line, soccers it through. They deserve that goal because they have worked hard. They've had it down inside forward 50 on a number of occasions. Finally, a score on the board. But really, overall, Palmerston have been a bit too scrappy. They haven't used the ball well. It's just been their effort and endeavour that's gotten them that first goal.
So it is the lead now only by 7 points. Back in the middle, Gallo goes over the top of Dennis, and the ball falls in the lap of Matthew Philo. He just gets a booming kick high up and under. Ugly bounce is not going to favour anyone. Keegan Dingo's just missed it. Emery got a boot to it for Magpies. Puts it out to near the top of the square. Timms was there, and there is lurking around. Timms tries to get around on the right. Ball was touched, still inside the forward 50 for the Palmerston Magpies. Shadforth tried to come through. Handball, no-look pass, gives it to Timms. Timms directly in front of goals, 20 metres out, and Timms has kicked back-to-back goals for the Palmerston Magpies, and they have got within 1 point, 11 minutes gone. Palmerston 12, trailing Districts 13.
Again, scrappy play from Palmerston. They just kept pushing it forward. Shadforth here crashing through, got the handball away. And we see Palmerston with numbers just coming through really, really well. Victor Campbell with a handball across. Clifford Timms had about 3 opportunities to handle the footy and kick a goal. Finally, on the third, he got hold of it and did what he needed to do. So well done, Palmerston. So much of it coming because of the dominance of Matty Dennis in the middle. He is proving to be unstoppable at the moment.
Along with Kyle Emery in there, just leather poisoning this season.
And Staunton now on Emery.
No, Ruckman wins it, but around the back, Palmerston clear it out of the centre, but mark taken by McAdam. Off to Dingo, running past. Beautiful delivery up the line. Well done to the Crocs, taken by Bull. That's a terrible kick, making Josiah Farah work for it. He does. Matty Dennis against him, just wheeled him around. At the back was Perry, picked up by Brock. Brock just gets boot to ball, and Dingo is going to take an uncontested easy mark in the centre square.
He's done that on about 4 occasions already, I reckon.
So very patient, looking and finding a free player. Josiah Farah was vacant for some time, but he found Horbury. Horbury goes out to the outer wing, comes back inside and just drops beautifully for the youngster Jaden Watts. Jaden Watts was in front, and this is a great matchup between 2 youngsters in Jaden Watts and Missai Perry Jr., but the ball just dropped in the air, fell into Watts' lap, and now he can try and stem this flow for the Magpies. We've got the last 2 goals. So Watts for Southern Districts over the 50 metres, strikes it on 45, directly in front, very casual, and that's drifted to the right.
Yeah, that was not Jaden Watts' finest moment there. He looked as though he was a little bit unsure of what to do. He had the height advantage there on Mishai Perry Jr., took the mark well, needed to go back and slot that.
Magpies with the kick in. Anson finds Thompson, couldn't take the mark. They're under pressure here. Garlett picks up the footy. He can't get it to his teammate. Garlett then backs up with a second effort. Dummies the hand pass. Now he finally gives it over the top to Clark. Back to Garlett. And an easy as you like goal. Just
the unintentional goal to Jeff Garlett. There was no doubt whatsoever that Jaden Clark was having a shot on goal there. He's miskicked it. He's kicked it directly to Garlett. We'll see that here in a moment. He's tried to feign the handball. Chester stayed with him, which was really good play. Here goes Jaden Clark. The big kick off the side of the boot, hits Garlett on the chest, and he just waltzes in and snaps the goal. Too easy. Southern Districts, however, very, very fortunate because Palmerston have worked their way into this game.
So Palmerston had got 2 in a row, and now Districts have got 1 back, so they lead 3-2-20 to Palmerston's 2 straight 12. 15 minutes ticks over here in the first quarter. Very warm afternoon in Darwin in the Northern Territory top end. Ball tossed up, and Gallo went high. In the ruck now for Palmerston is Hollenby. Ball still in the middle, not able to get any real purchase on it, any of the midfielders. And getting up on the bottom of the pack there for Palmerston is Brock. So the ball just tossed up quickly, still in the circle of the middle of Marara Oval. Coming through and getting the clearance is Joshua Philo, and he has been dumped after.
Good call by the umpy, that one.
High. So the ball is going to be a free kick down the ground because Joshua Philo had got the kick away. Still inside the centre square. Stone's looking forward, asking people to come forward, and there's a great kick towards Lonigan on the lead, but out-muscling everybody. Playing his debut is Taylor. Justin Taylor has taken a great mark at the back. Looked like Lonigan, the captain, was coming in for it, but Taylor, wow, big moment here.
Justin Taylor just kept his eye on the footy, stayed in the contest, outbodied his immediate opponent, stuck the hands up, and suddenly the ball appeared. Good
player, kicked a lot of goals in the under-18s, and very fortunate to and good on him to get his opportunity today.
So Angle on the right, he's going to kick it from 30 metres, and he's touched the player on the mark. So there you go, debuting in the Men's Premier League, and that's what nerves can do. You got too close to the player on the mark, and that is just dribbled out. There'll be a ball tossed in 5 metres from the right post going towards the Magpies' end.
And the first person to get over to him was his captain, and Aaron Lonigan. So good to see. So ball in, Dennis gets hand to it's close to the goal line here, and it's just rushed through by the Crocs. They're going to play on quickly here. They're good at this. Straight to Bowden. Bowden just slows it down. Good work by the Pies to chop it off. Just slow them down a little bit. Chip kick over the top. The Crocodiles maintain possession. Mark taken by Wirrung. To Rusker.
Gee, don't those three work together? Bowden, Wirrung and Schofield. So good.
He was good last week,
Rusker not kicking to anyone in particular, and straight down the throat of Samuel Arson for the Magpies. That's a poor kick. Turnover. Dangerous spot here. Staunton hand passes to a teammate. McLaughlin running past. Garlett's in the prime opportunity here. He drops a mark he should have taken. Then hand passes to Will Farah. Farah dances around one, and an easy as you like goal. Kicks his second for the game. Just too easy there in the end. It was just a poor turnover by the Pies.
It was, wasn't it? And well done by Jeff Garlett there too. Very, very selfless there to get hold of the footy, and Will Farah made good space, but all it was the turnover. Didn't need to happen. Once it did happen, however, Dylan McLaughlin there we see kicking long. Garlett in really good position and attracts the attention, of course. And there's Will Farah. Puts on the dummy, if you don't mind. Nearly tripped himself over and then made sure that he put that straight through. Needs to build his confidence there. He's got 2 goals on the board early here. Will Farah needs to keep attacking the footy. He's working hard in that forward 50. Must keep going.
So the margin out to 13 points here for the Crocs. 18 minutes gone, opening turn. Corbett goes up in the middle. Punch forward towards the Magpies centre square area. Probably taken without the ball. Rusker. He's still running after it, Rusker, but good work from Sadforth from Magpies. He's picked it up, drills it in low to the man that's making his debut, Taylor. Not able to get it. Charles McAdam from Crocs picks it up, arches his back, kicks it down the middle of the park. Oh, tackled without the ball there. That's going to be a free kick to Palmerston. That's going to go to Garling after he was dumped. He just chips it over, and he finds Philo, that's Josh Philo, kicks it into the right forward pocket, and a great mark and vision there from Ray.
Yeah, Matthew Ray, good mark. And I love the work so far of Joshua Philo. He has been in the action in the midfield, and when he's got hold of the footy, he's been so positive, stays on the move and uses it well by foot in particular.
If he's anything like his cousin, then he's going to be a gun, isn't he?
Well, Brodie Philo, that's right. There's 2 Philos out here, both cousins of Brodie Philo. Let's see what happens here.
Ray, 10 metres in from the boundary, very tight angle, and he has not been able to straighten up with that. It's just missed the right of the goalpost, and so it's behind.
And again, Crocs play on quickly to Staunton. Still in defensive 50. Slowing it down. Another 15-metre kick, if that, to his teammate in Schofield. Kicks it up the line in the centre squares. Crocs looking good here. Look dangerous in these, and a turnover by Emery. Emery takes the mark. So needs to move it on quickly. He does. Matty Dennis presents. Takes the mark 55 metres out, wheels around, kicks it to the top of the square. I reckon he was having a crack at that. And through for a behind. I reckon he was having a wheel up and go. And usually he's a noted goal kicker for a ruckman, but unfortunately didn't get that one.
So quick play on from the Crocs, goes short to the right back pocket. And that was Schofield. He chips it over. So good marking from Palmerston at the moment. Ball was kicked out, and that is an applause for the Palmerston player. And that was good hands by McMaster, who was able to spoil Horbury. So the ball's got to be tossed in 70 metres from the Palmerston goal. We're on the commentary side wing. Ball tossed in. Corbett's at front, pushed out of the way. And Holmby is able to get it from behind. Palmerston now, a couple of handballs going backwards to go forwards. Kick in the middle. Running onto it for Palmerston is Anson. Anson tries to put it between his legs, but picked up by Innes. Innes from the Crocs have sent them forward. Handball over to Staunton. Staunton in the 50-metre mark. Puts it into the left forward pocket, and an easy mark by Will Farrer, the captain. He had run hard to get into position as well, but Will Farrer will have a very difficult shot on goal, about 2 metres from the boundary, 10 metres around from the left post.
Terrific effort from Will Farrer, and that's what it was. It was all effort. Led up the field, came back, got into great position. Another opportunity for him.
Looking to kick his third, wheels around, banana kick, and he's just missed it. And that was pretty good defending from Brock. He'd come even very far out and not allowing to get him the angle.
He leads a lot to those pockets, doesn't he, Will Farrer?
He does. Just the effort, I think, is good, but he's probably got to ask them to deliver the ball to him straighter.
So good kick out by Church to Emery. Dropped the mark, but regathers. Goes sideways to Thompson. The Magpies here trying to maintain possession. 2 Magpies players probably didn't communicate there. Cliffy Timms needs to get rid of it. He does. Guys try to break a tackle again.
Oh,
well done. So Timms again through the middle. Delivers it forward in front as a Magpies player, Matty Ray. So Ray takes the mark. He's going to have to kick it from about 45.
Interestingly here, Palmerston are actually using their forward 50 seemingly better than what Southern Districts are. They're getting more shots in the corridor, and it's more direct play that they're getting, whereas Southern Districts going really wide.
So Ray comes in, kicks it from 45 directly in front, looks good off the boot. Does he sneak it in? No, he just misses.
Doesn't.
To the right. So through for a behind. We're 22 minutes gone. Palmerston 2-3-16 trailing. Districts 4-3-27.
Palmerston, long kick out on the left. Running after it is Watts. He overran the ball. Went back and picked it up, if you don't mind. The youngster takes a bounce, goes down the outside wing, takes another one, chips it forward, finds Staunton. He gets the hands on to Dingo, who's a long way from home, puts it forward to the near the top of the square, overrun by Garrett. And Will Farrer pressured hard, but it's going to be the Palmerston Magpies that come out of trouble straight down the middle and in the centre square. Big mark from their ruckman, Dennis. He just chips it over to Emery. So they gain about 20 metres. Emery goes out to the right forward pocket. Great vision from Emery. That is a beautiful pass to McMaster. He looking for a couple of leads. Mishai Perry just gave a small one, but he's gone even shorter, and he has picked out Matthew Philo. And then the right forward pocket, about 3 metres in from the boundary, another tough ask.
It is a tough ask. They haven't gone as directly as I talked about a moment ago. They've gone right out wide on this occasion. But again, holding the ball, using it well. Let's see whether they can finish off here.
So, shot on goal is a very, very tight angle, and it's gone across, and it has gone straight. And that has gone over the umpire's head, so well done there. We hadn't given too much, and that is Matthew Philo, who has kicked that. That was a very tight angle, and he's kicked it straight.
And here's a man who's playing very good footy, Kyle Emery. You talk about good kicking. Look at that for a kick. That was a 50-metre spot up there to Michaelis McMaster. He got hold of the footy himself. Looking, patience. He is a good user of the footy. Not as fit as he'd want to be at the moment, but he waited for someone to get into position. Matthew Philo gave the lead, honoured that beautifully. And speaking of beautiful, Matthew Philo's kick from that pocket, sensational.
And you know, Kyle Emery at training puts in, that's why he's getting the ball. He puts in the effort, and the fitness he does at training just on his own is wonderful. So back in the middle, comes out again by Anson. Front was Lonergan, couldn't get his hands to it. Brock trying to clean up. Lonergan's there, taken high, just rides the bump. He's a hard man, Aaron Lonergan, to tackle, I tell you that. That's why he's the captain. He's earned the free kick. So leg, grabbed him by the leg. So Aaron Lonergan, hand passes over to that man, Kyle Emery. And again, he looks for McMasters. Can he get there? He can't this time as the siren goes to end the first quarter. Palmerston Magpies 3-4-22, trailing Southern Districts 4-3-27.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.
Gee, she got a good leg on her, right? What a show-off.
Did you see my goal?
Hey.
I thought I played a deadly game.
You should be ashamed of yourself. And showing off and asking for all that attention. And looking like that.
You can do something to change the ending.
Did you see my goal?
Hey.
I thought I played a deadly game.
What? You should be ashamed of yourself. And showing off and asking for all that attention. And looking like that.
Is this your right? You want to come over to the club with us?
What? You're not going anywhere. You're coming with me.
Oh, come on, Bruss. What are you going on about? Look what you're wearing. It's the same thing. We're going, having a chat.
You can change how it plays out.
Hey, bro, you're right or what? Come on, man. Let's go have a chat. Gotta be better, man. What's been going on?
Do something to change the ending. It's everyone's responsibility to prevent violence.
Mother Nature can be frighteningly predictable in the Territory this time of year. Heavy rains and damaging winds can cause significant problems and disruption, particularly if you're unprepared, while downed power lines and flash flooding can be lethal. To ensure you're ready, visit powerwater.com.au/safety or text SAFETY to 0428 323 991 for more information. Because staying safe and ready around Mother Nature should be second nature.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona?
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Flight Centre.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
Quarter time here at TIO Stadium in the round 17 clash with Palmerston up against Southern Districts, and it's the Crocs with the early lead 4-3-27, leading Palmerston Magpies 3-4-22. For more information on No More, you can visit nomore.org.au.
Thanks to Liz Cruz for the information we're getting through about the Philo family. And the Philo family are at Palmerston because of Froggy Davey played with their dad in country Victoria.
Yes, they look good in the black and white. Now, if we can only get Brody over, it will make a complete package, I think.
Right. And I'm going to say, I've just been told Mum Leanne Cruz, she's watching the live stream from Moama on the New South Wales border. So, hi, Leanne. Thanks for your company.
Yes.
And, yes, hope you're enjoying the weather where you are because we are watching a great contest so far, but it is very, very hot and dull.
Oh, yeah, the boys would be feeling it, that's for sure. But, you know, they're not showing it, which is great. And if they can run out 4 quarters and keep playing the way that they're playing that first quarter, the Magpies, then you know that you just can see the difference that a couple of those players that the Philos have made, and Maddie Dennis with Cole Emery has just really straightened them up, and you know they're looking the goods out there at the moment. Let's hope they can hold on.
Yes, at the moment is the call, isn't it?
It's going to be a good contest if they can keep this. But for Crocodiles, they have not scored a point in their last 2 games, so their finish is a worrying sign for their coach. But let's get underway. Second quarter, Natasha Medbury.
And here's that man, just falls over. Emery gets the ball away, trying to crash through with Staunton. Intercepted there by Anson. Anson, big man and Gallo, just hand passes straight to a Magpies opponent. Back to Emery. Emery, what does he do? Going for goal. It's a vacant goal square. Taylor can kick it. The first game, Justin Taylor has kicked a goal for the Magpies to start this second quarter. Well done to the Palmerston Magpies. A good kick by Cole Emery, but better work in the square by the first gamer in Justin Taylor, better known as JT.
Well, JT, you've done very well. And here's this man again, Kyle Emery, just playing outstanding footy, worked really hard, featured on a couple of occasions, kicked long, which is always dangerous, I think, in a forward 50. And JT kept his eye on the footy. He's against a very good opponent there in Michael Bowden. Kept his eye on the footy, kept it goal side and socked through the goal. Believe it or not, the Palmerston Magpies, they take the lead by a point.
Very honoured to call that first goal for JT. He's been around the women's team for a lot because his stepmum plays with us for many years, so just very excited to call that one.
So they take the lead for the first time. Ball up in the middle. Both ruckmen can't get good purchase on it. Comes out of the middle for Southern Districts, Horbury, and he has been hit after the play. So we're going to see where the ball is going to go. It's actually going to be brought back. Horbury gets up off the ground, just rubs the back of his head. And the free kick is going to go down the ground. It had to have because he was hit after. So
doesn't it go to the player that's nearest where it was kicked then, where it landed?
Yes, it should. So Horbury is going to take the free kick that shouldn't be his. He goes out onto his left foot, kicks it into the left forward pocket for Southern Districts. Picked up by Clark. Clark gets it out to the left. Brandon Rusker runs around 1, runs around 2 and wobbles it inside. No one can get purchase. Will Farah does, brings it down to the ground. The captain gets it the second time. Still at the top of the square. Will Farah gets a handball back and slots it through the goal. Great persistence from the captain, Will Farah. And that was a handball from Matt Cannard that has got him through the pack. And Will Farah has picked up his 3rd for the afternoon, puts Southern Districts back in front as well. And that is a big scramble at the top of the square for the Crocs.
Yeah, wonderful effort there by Will Farah. Perhaps a bit fortunate. Got the handball there from young Jaden Watts. May have been caught off dropping the footy, as you say, Natasha Medbury. But look, persistence. He's worked hard. We've called him a couple of times already in the first quarter. Just his efforts on his lead, doubling back, going again. That was persistence again. Then he featured 2-3 times there. Was still there working hard. Got the footy and snapped the goal. Well done, Will Farah. District's back in the lead.
Back in the middle. Palmerston reply here. Well done. Gallo wins that tap down. Doesn't happen very often against Maddie Dennis. In there's Emery. Kicks it off the ground to no one. Watts is going to get there first for the Crocs. Kicks it out wide. McMasters, couldn't get a hand to it. Big handball over the top. Well done to Garling. Garling chips it sideways, looking for Stone. No, that's Philo, sorry. Emery, there's that man again in the centre square. Not looking was Stone, so chopped off by Lakes. Probably the first time we've called Brody Lake today. And it's a nothing kick that's going to go over the... No, it's managed to stay in. Freeman gets there first. Hand passes between his opponent's legs, but to nobody. To Garlett. Back to the Crocs player in Clark. Clark with a good kick, and again, just chopped off there by Matty Ray. Will Farrow just couldn't get there, and they're going to clear it out of defence here. The Magpies to McMaster's out wide.
So out on the outer wing, defensive side of the wing, McMaster just goes long down the wing over the head of Dennis. Dennis, though, is going to run onto it. The big ruckman pats it forward, and Dingo is going to try and get it clever from Dennis. He just tapped it through his feet, and the big man might have helped the Magpies. He gets a handball back. Dennis off one step, booming for boot over the head, and there is a good defensive work there from Brandon Rusker, who's back in the side from injury, and it just shows you his speed that's needed. He just out-dashed Taylor to that, and he's taken it over the boundary. Ball tossed in 2 metres from the right post of the way that Palmerston are heading at the airport end.
So Brock in the ruck for the Magpies, wins it down. Emery trying to use his body. Blake goes without it for the Crocs. Under pressure here, the Crocs defenders. Cleared out to the 50. Goes without as Anson, picked up by Chester. Chester with a nothing kick. It's going to go out of bounds exactly in the same spot that it was a couple of seconds ago for another boundary throw in the Magpies attacking 50.
Palmerston need to keep working hard here. There is another opportunity here.
Ball toss back in. Innes and Brock go at it. Brock tries to get a tap forward. Southern District player gets a hurried kick out, and there's going to be another ball up. This time we're about 10 metres around from the right forward pocket for Palmerston.
Managed to kick that twice then, I reckon. Horbury came off his knee, then came off his shin. He's lucky he didn't go out of bounds on the full.
If it was a soccer player, it was playing upsies with himself.
He did well.
So ball tossed back in. Gallousy, 2 ruckmen to get there. Dennis over the back of Gallo. Gallo drops down to the ground, and he picks up Matthew Philo. So good work for the ruckman. It's always nice when the ruckman runs after someone's able to tackle him. They get up, Gallo and Philo. Ball tossed up. Gallo against Dennis. Dennis taps it towards his goal. They're directly in front, and there's going to be a free kick off the ball going towards Southern District. So defensively, they've been let off the hook by undisciplined play, and they're going to come down the commentary wing, and a bounce taken by Bowden.
Bowden kicks it down the line. One-on-one, and the Magpies player falls over. So free kick down the field. Advantage played to Clark. No, they're going to call it back. So Bowden was dumped after he kicked it. And as it should, it goes to the nearest player that the ball land, and that's in the arms of Jaden Clark. Looking inboard. Now he just puts it in front of Will Farrow. Couldn't get he got his hands to it, but couldn't take the grab. Timms. So that's a good change that they've put Cliffy Timms back there. And a push out. So free kick to Perry. Perry looks to go sideways, and he's dancing around, got himself into a bit of trouble, doesn't have enough help there. Staunton picks it up, then hand passes over the top to Jones. Jones flicks it to himself. Well done, Perry, to back up. Get back there and just clean up the mess. And kicks it to Campbell. Campbell was outnumbered. Flicked back to Lonergan. Lonergan gets it down the line, picked up by Perry, but the umpire says the ball went out. I don't think the ball was totally over the line, so unfortunately there for Perry. But a boundary throw in front of the Southern District's cool box.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Tash. I think Emery might have just managed to grab hold of that, but they're resetting here. Palmerston need to be careful here. Momentum is a good thing, and they don't have it just at the minute.
Brock goes up, and he goes up against Corbett. Corbett was holding a jumper, and it is going to go to a free kick towards Matt Cannard. He puts it up towards the left pocket. Over the back is Will Farrow. 2 Palmerston players were left for dead, and Will Farrow has picked up his 4th for the afternoon. Well done to Matt Cannard, playing on quickly, just booted it long into the left forward pocket, and very, very smart play from the captain. Waited at the back, and he has just got through a 4th goal, but 2nd of the second quarter. And District's now with a 2-goal buffer. District 6-3-39, leading Palmerston 4-4-28.
Just felt as though there's a bit of an arm wrestle happening here, and it was just starting to go Southern District's way. Young Mishai Perry mishandled on numerous occasions. They should have cleared it quite easily. They kept it in the danger position, and they paid the ultimate price. Well done, Will Farrow. 2 in the first, and now 2 goals in this second quarter. He's being rewarded for his effort. Southern Districts need to keep doing that, but Palmerston just need to be a little bit smarter with the footy.
So Brock in the ruck now for the Magpies. Matty Dennis has come off, so let's see what they can do now that he's off the field. Picked up there by Matty Cannard for the Crocs, delivers it Beautiful looking kick out wide to Maddie Duffy on the left quickly. That's a poor turnover from Maddie Duffy, taken by Anson. So Anson for the Magpies, just slowing it down, not much to kick to, so just goes up the line. Bounces in front of Campbell. Campbell takes it cleanly, just kicks it up to the wing. Brock can't take the mark. He's against Corbett. It's close to the boundary, just under the scoreboard. Well done to Corbett. Flicked it to a teammate. Shadford tries to lay the tackle back to Corbett. Corbett down the line. Drop mark by Philo. Gets it back to a teammate. Needs to get rid of it, getting himself into trouble close to the boundary, and it goes out of bounds for a boundary thrown around about 80 from the Southern District's goal. And you're right, Southern Districts are just getting the momentum here at the moment.
Just, G. Anson's been an unsung hero down there for the Palmerston Magpies, working really hard. Samuel Anson.
Big throw in on the boundary. Corbett and Brock for Palmerston go at it. Ball down on the ground, and there is going to be another ball up as it didn't go too far, and the man on the bottom of that is Matthew Philo. And gee, he's been trying at everything at the moment. He's always at the bottom of the pack at the moment too. Ball tossed up, and it was Brock that got a fingernail to it, drops down to the ground. That man there, Matthew Philo, gets a hurried kick down the middle of Marara Oval number 1, and it's going to be chopped off by Southern Districts. Quick as you like, back inside their forward pocket on the right. Leading the race for Palmerston's was Anson.
That man again.
And that is going to go over the sideline. And it's going to be a boundary throw in on the paint of 50 on the right side of, that's the Southern District's end towards the Michael Long Learning Centre.
We need to get Maddie Dennis back onto the field, the Magpies. So Brock wins the tap. Gains about 20 metres, picked up by Shadford. He's taken as he picks up the footy, tough footy to come out with, but there's Staunton strong, kicks it into the 50. Over the top was Duffy. Duffy couldn't take the mark. Again, Anson just takes it over the boundary. Needs to be careful. What's the umpire going to call? And he's called throw it in. Very, very lucky there.
Well, it was either deliberate or he was already over the boundary line and then was slung to the ground. The umpire decided not to pay either.
So boundary throw in, about 15 around from the right of the District's goal. Good throw in as well by the umpire, just caught him off guard a little bit, and Crocs go for goal, sneaks it in. Well done to the Crocodiles. They have their 7th goal on the board. Didn't quite pick up who that was. So it was McLaughlin, Dylan McLaughlin. Thanks, Dominic. So Southern District just worked hard for that one, but unfortunately, the Maggies just under too much pressure.
And we see coming from the ground, I think that might be Sandy Brock for the Palmerston Magpies. He's hurt his left shoulder. He's trying to pick up that player. It is indeed number 9 for the Maggies. Maddie Dennis comes straight back on. But well done, Southern Districts there, working hard. They just kept the pressure on. It wasn't pretty, kept pushing the ball forward. Dean Staunton, he's been in everything in recent minutes. He got that ball there to Dylan McLaughlin, and Dylan McLaughlin finished off with a nice snap on the outside of the right boot. Good reward for some good running across the last quarter and a half to Dylan McLaughlin. He takes his place back in the middle of the ground, and Southern Districts just sneak away.
So Gallo and Dennis back in the middle. It's cleared now by the Crocs out on the outer wing. Leading the chase is Weirung. Weirung puts it inside the right forward pocket. A good kick, good chest mark by Staunton. Staunton runs back over the 50, wants to give it in quickly, does. Chips it forward and finds Garlett. So it's actually Will Farah, sorry. So Will Farah is going to line up for his 5th goal of the afternoon. Southern Districts, they've shot out of the blocks in this second quarter. They've kicked 3 goals to 1. And can Captain Will Farah make it 4 goals to 1 advantage so far in this second quarter? 14 minutes gone. Will Farah, slight angle to the right, 30 metres out. Kicks it, and he's just missed it to the right. So they pick up a point, and Districts 46 lead Palmerston 28.
Amazingly, Will Farah, for a player who's kicked so many goals, looks uncertain in his run-up, and he kicks so close to the man on the mark there.
Good kick out, finds Ray. Magpies looking for Emery. Strong hands, takes it on the paint of 50. On the left-hand side, still left half back. Thompson just an up and under kick. Aaron Lonergan trying to outbody his opponent in McAdam. Good pick up by Rusker, but good tackle by, that's not high. The umpire's called it high. Look where his hand is on his jumper. That is not high, and he's showing him as well.
How can that be high?
So Rusker's earned the free kick right in front of our commentary box. Unlucky there, the captain, Aaron Lonergan. Lake dropped a mark he should have taken for his standards. Emery goes in with his head and he's rewarded, so that's probably a payback because that's going in duck in the head, if you ask me. But Kyle Emery with the free kick for the Maggies. Just on defensive wing. Kicks it up again to Lonergan against Rusker. Battling it out, picked up by Bowden. Good in these situations. Chopped off by Emery again. So directly on centre wing. Goes sideways. An under kick. That's a terrible kick into the forwards, but Freeman's going to clean up here for the Magpies. Hand pass here, running through was Riley, gets it over to Church, and Church kicks the goal. Palmerston worked hard for that one, but they got the goal on the board and have their 5th. Well done to Broderick Church, but even better, Kyle Emery.
Oh, the pressure that the Palmerston Magpies put on there was excellent. They just kept moving. Yes, it was a miss kick into forward 50 and a drop mark, but once they picked up the footy, there was calm play. Terrific again. Joshua Philo could have blazed away or just tried to handball over the head. He stepped inside, went to Broderick Church, and one of the more experienced players for the Palmerston Magpies just steadied down in front of goal and put it through. They've had 9 scoring shots to 11. They trail by an even 12 points, Palmerston, staying in the game.
The man that really did turn it over and start that flow for the Magpies, Emery's in the middle. Ball tossed up, and Dennis just taps it behind him and found Emery, went to his lap, but he is just wrapped up quickly by Staunton. And so that was a set play, nearly worked, but Staunton brought Emery down. So the ball will be tossed back up, and Gallo for the Crocs and Dennis go back at it. Dennis gets a tap forward. Stadford can't pick it up. Ball down on the ground. It's a great in-tight contest. Ball spills out towards the commentary. Staunton gets a kick away for the Crocodiles. Ball just falls into Weirung's lap. He goes back into board to Staunton. Staunton handballs it over to Weirung. He's not able to gather it, and he was actually standing on the boundary line, so it's just dribbled out.
Yeah, a little bit too cute in some ways there, I think, Southern Districts. Not what Garlett or Will Farrer would be looking for.
Staunton should have kicked it,
mucking around 60 metres out, get it in there quickly. These two guys are stars. Get it in there quickly for them.
Matty Dennis Agello. Well done, Matty Dennis at the back. Goes in for a 3rd crack, then gets boot to ball. Dingo can't chop it off, gets to the back, but cleaning up here, the Crocs. Delivers it into the 50. Well read. Mark can't be taken there by the Crocs forward. Unfortunately, got 2 bites of the cherry. Couldn't take it. Farrer's in there. That's Josiah Farrer. Taken without the footy was Anson. Linking arms here to Clark. Jaden Clark. Off one step. Looks good. The umpire does not move. Straight through the goal. So Jaden Clark has the goal on the board for the Southern Districts. They have their 8th. And a good reply to the Palmerston goal. Straight away. And better, deliver it into the 50. Don't muck around with it, get it into the 50.
Yep, get it in there quickly. Josiah Farrer, good work from him. Just got in there and helped to get the ball out quickly. Lovely little step inside here from Jaden Clark and just put it on the boot straight away. That's what Southern Districts have got to do. Again, I say you've got players like Will Farrer, who's working really hard down there. Jeff Garlett, he's only recently off an AFL list. He is a quality forward. Get the ball down to those two quickly. They'll kick the goals. Will Farrer's already shown that. Got to keep doing it.
So in the middle for the Magpies, Shadford, Emery and Joshua Philo. Matt Dennis was speaking with them after that goal went through. So what can they do here? Matt Dennis up against Gallo. 2 tall ruckmen out there. Ball tossed up. No real advantage, but Gallo gets it down. So now it is the Crocs that are going to get it out of the middle. Kick forward and chopped off nicely. Good defensive mark from Thompson. He wants to play on quickly. Comes over to their right back pocket. Stone had run hard for it. He kicks up quickly. Finds Emery on the commentary wing. Still on the defensive side. He stutters the kick, but he finds. And directly down the throat of Chester. Chester, big up and under. That might have had too much purchase on it, so much so that Dingo went for a mark way too early. And the free kick is going to go to Church. Broderick Church already has a goal in this quarter, but he's about 70 metres from home. Tries to put it up towards the top of the square in front for the Palmerston Magpies was Taylor, and it is going to go over the back, and the Crocs are going to come out after a behind from Palmerston.
So Bowden finds Schofield, just fumbled the ball, but Bowden's there to help him out. Chip kick over to Rusker. He's clear, takes off. Freeman chasing him. Doesn't find Matty Cannard. Smith's going to get there. Overruns the footy, does Smith. So Cannard cleaned up, gets it, hand pass over to Duffy. One-on-one here. Farah out in front takes the mark he should have taken. Timms keeps his feet. Dangerous kick straight into the corridor. Back to Farah. Dances around and kicks an easy as you like goal. He has his fifth on the board. And unfortunately there for Timms, he got the footy off Farah but kicked it straight back into the corridor. I think if I was Timms, I would have fallen over the boundary line and tried to get a boundary throw in.
There it goes back into the corridor, as you say. Staunton getting hold of it. Back to Farah. Lovely little step inside. He's put on a few of those today. But let's go back to the way that started. Will Farah jumping at the footy really tentatively, not taking the mark. He will not get second opportunities like that against the Nightcliff Tigers in the finals. It just won't happen. So he has to lift his intensity here and really make the most of his opportunities. Really try and make sure that he's playing at the level that he will need to take his side further.
And a big out is Sandy Brock. It looks like he has gone into the room, so they are one down and a key defender down.
So Corbett gets it down for the Crocs, led out and cleared by Josiah Farah, and a huge tackle. Well done defensively for Palmerston Stone. He has got a big tackle and dumped Duffy, who's playing his 101st NTFL game. Now Palmerston Magpies are away down the middle. Matt Dennis with an ugly handball out towards the scoreboard. Emery, too smart. Handballs it along the ground. Now it comes in the entry. Try and look for the first premiership game of Taylor. And the ball is gone towards him, and he's going to pick up a free kick.
Yeah,
so he did well at the front.
Oh, look, he did really well there, and that's exactly what he did. Playing against Michael Bowden, he kept front position. There's a bit of mouthing off going on around there. Thomas Freeman letting Bowden know that the youngsters managed to get a free kick off him. He's also having a go at Keegan Dingo in back play here, Thomas Freeman. But well done, Justin Taylor. Held front position, got himself there and got himself the free kick.
So 45-degree angle just over the paint of 50. Can he get his second goal in his debut NTFL game? Hits it from 45 metres out. Didn't look too confident with his follow-through on the kicking style. And it's gone through for a behind. Southern Districts 9-4-58. Palmerston 5-6-38. 36, sorry, and we are 22 minutes gone second quarter.
So McAdam to Lake, close to the boundary, and Lake's gone out of bounds on the full. Geez, you don't see that very often from young Brody Lake. Probably not his better game so far. Up and under kick by Emery. Try and mark that as a forward. Dennis got pushed out of the way. Chester at the back. Good work by him and Brendan Rusker, sorry. He got the ball out of the pack over the top to Staunton. Rusker's running past, hand passes to him now, but misses his target. Goes back for the footy. Kicked in by Hollenby. But straight to a Crocs defender that tries to clear the footy. There's 3-on-2. Crocs, Palmerston have the numbers here. Just pulled out of the way. McMasters picks it up. Hand passes to Campbell. Campbell for the Magpies over the top to Lonergan. 55 metres out from goal here, Palmerston. So the captain has the ball. Matty Dennis ignores that lead. Now he's going to go to young Taylor. In front again. Punched away by Lake. Crocs are going to clean up here. Watts gives it over the top to Bowden. Bowden out wide looking for his teammate Kenwerong. And again, it goes out of bounds, just missing their targets here, Southern Districts, from the back line. And the ball's going to be thrown in directly under the scoreboard on the far side.
I dare say that Bowden and Werong probably weren't all that unhappy that the ball went out over there. Gives them a chance to reset. Let's see what Corbett can do here in the ruck contest.
Plus, he was 2-on-1 defenders-wise, so that is gone shallow. Corbett at the front for Southern Districts has got a fist to it. He's just fisted that straight over the boundary again.
Needs to do more in the ruck, Corbett, and in fact more around the ground. He's got good size. He's got a great kick on him when he gets the footy. Just doesn't work hard enough for his team.
Should have patted that forward to himself and just picked it up and gone with it. But anyway, another toss in by the umpire. And now it is actually the Palmerston Magpies Holmby that got it. But again, it's gone forward of the two ruckmen, and there's going to be a third throw in with about 2 metres gained
There's a lot of tired players there.
And it is late in the 24 minutes gone in this second quarter. Corbett still in the ruck with Holmby. Pushing and shoving. Hornby just gets Corbett out of the way. He wants a free kick, asks the umpire, and he's going to get it as well. So Hornby from Palmerston hands it off to Emery. Emery chips it over, a handball to Mishai Perry Jr. He goes running through the middle, goes down to Matt Dennis. That drops to the hands of Chester. Chester gets a handball over to Taylor. Taylor's working hard, though it's going to be picked up now off the ground for the Crocs, and it's going to come out down the middle, but only as far as Campbell. Campbell got a handball away with a no-look pass, and that might be over the shoulder. Jaden Watts is standing there and asking for a free kick for his teammate who gets off the ground in Jaden Clark, and he's going to, no, not going to get it. Ball tossed up in the middle of Marara Oval.
So Hollenby wins it down, but Shark there by Clark. Goes without it, the Palmerston play taken high. Ray gets his body in there. Smith fighting hard for the Pies. Garling can't get it out, then it's cleared by Philo. So Philo just boots the ball and it dribbles out of bounds in front of Chester and his opponent. So a boundary thrown on the far side, about 60 metres around the left of Palmerston Magpies goal. Nearly half time here. Palmerston 5-6, 36, trailing Southern Districts as the siren goes to end the first half of the game, and they're trailing Southern Districts 9-4, 58.
So Magpies 5-6, 36 trail Crocodiles 9-4, 58.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.
Wow, what a deadly player. Gee, she got a good leg on her, eh? What a show-off.
The goal at the end.
Hey, babe.
Hey, girls.
You right?
Hey, we're just talking about...
You're loving all this attention. Who you trying to impress?
What do you mean?
You know exactly what I mean.
I'm not trying to do anything.
You can do something to change the ending.
Wow, what a deadly player. Gee, she got a good leg on her, eh? What a show-off.
Yeah, isn't that a part of the game?
Yeah, come on, bro. You should be proud of her. She's a deadly player.
Unbelievable game. Unbelievable.
Hey, babe.
Hey, what up?
Did you see my goal?
Oh, it was deadly.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty sick. I couldn't believe I got it.
Do something to change the ending. You can change how it plays out. It's everyone's responsibility to prevent violence.
Absolutely zero.
Zero. Yeah, definitely.
It has to be zero.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
kilonewton centrifugal force, infrared remote control.
How does he do it?
24.5 kilowatt diesel motor.
He doesn't just know how to operate every piece of Kennard's hire gear we get in, but also its service details, its safety checks. I know.
It's as if he can hypnotise each piece.
Give me 2 passes with sauce. Coffee white with 1, bun with icing. No, pink icing.
Yep, no worries, Terry.
Kennard's make your job easy.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide. Ooh.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
Looking for the best and brightest to join your team? At Quality People, we specialise in finding quality, hard-to-get professionals, and we have an office right here in Darwin. Kick your recruitment goals with Quality People. qualitypeople.com.au.
Now that's quality.
On Territory roads, anything can happen. So you need to drive to the conditions. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
Choosing a health fund can be tricky. Some are too big, too small, or just not right at all. But with Territory Health Fund, you can make sure your cover is the right fit.
Oh, yeah! Gee, she got a good leg on her, eh?
What a show off.
Did you see my goal? I thought I played it at the game.
What? You should be ashamed of yourself, showing off and asking for all that attention. You're not going anywhere but home.
Now everybody's blaming me for what happened. Like I'm responsible for him treating me like crap.
You can do something to change the ending.
One moment, Auntie. Hey, sis. I've got Auntie Shirley on the phone. She's going to help us work this out together. She's talking to his uncle too. It's going to be all right, because we're all here for you.
Yeah, we'll sort it out.
Hey.
Do something to change the ending. You can change how it plays out. It's everyone's responsibility to prevent violence.
Is he a player that they move up the ground, give some time in the midfield, have him play on the wing to get him involved and use his great skills? Because to me, he's not doing very much, and it's not helping him much just being stuck in a forward pocket.
I also have to say, if you look down, good that Brandon Rusker is back for the Crocs, but Brodie Lake, he's had a quiet one too. Probably not needed as much in the defensive line, but he's had quiet touches.
For his talent and his standard, it's probably not the best game I've seen him play. And when he has got his hands on the footy, he's turned it over. He hasn't been very clean as what we're used to seeing for Brodie Lake. So, but you know, there's still a half of footy left, so anything can happen and someone can get themselves in the game.
And he's one of the fittest out there, we know that. So expect a big second half coming up. Well, what can happen? The second half about to get underway. I'm Shannon Byrne. Dominic McCormack is our expert, and Natasha Medbury is going to get us underway for the third quarter, where it's Southern Districts leading Palmerston by 22 points.
And Palmerston have put the young fella Hollenby into the ruck. So he's going against Gallo. Both of them can't get a touch to it. Come straight down. Aubrey that started the game well, a bit quiet the second half, and Palmerston delivers it into the 50. Underneath it was Taylor, can't take it. Now butted up by McAdam. Hand passes out to a teammate, and there's Aubrey. Takes an uncontested mark, hand passes to Clark. Clark has Josiah Farrer running past. I reckon he got ripped at half time and he's getting himself into the game. Sandy Brock hand passes to Clark. Clark for Southern Districts delivers it. The top of the square, underneath it is Garlick. Good work to Thompson, got his fist to it, back to Thompson. Needs to clear it, he does. Shadford is underneath it, can't take the mark. Numbers here for Palmerston. Hollenby is tackled, umpire says play on. He was holding the footy and the umpire's found a free kick now, and it's going the way of Southern Districts, about 55 metres from the Southern Districts goal.
Well, good contest to start this third quarter already. Southern Districts with an opportunity here to put a score on the board.
So Districts with the kick. Just straightens it up, goes sideways looking for Lake, but it drops into the arms of Warrung. So directly in front, 45 metres out, he's going to have to kick it from, with the breeze going across the face of the goals.
Robert Bull with ball in hands there.
Robert Bull.
Bit fortunate, really, because that I don't think it was the intended target.
No, I don't think he was.
The ball fell short and straight into his lap.
And already Southern Districts, those players we spoke about are getting their hands on the footy. So Bull coming in, he's going to kick it 48 out. Looks good off the boot. The umpire hasn't moved much, straight over his hat. So it's gone through for a goal. Southern Districts have their 10th on the board. Good way to start this third quarter, the Districts. So Bull with his first goal of the game.
And all of the Southern Districts teammates running to Robert Bull, and I tell you what, his hair will be hurting so much because they've rubbed that head so hard there after he kicked that goal. Even the defensive six, except perhaps for Keegan Dingo down at fullback, all ran to him. So well done, Robert Bull. Must be his first game in footy, I think.
Or his first
goal, I should say.
Think,
first goal in footy. So well done to him, and well done to Southern Districts. That's what you want from a team perspective. That can really lift a group, and that sort of enthusiasm can be wonderfully infectious. So well done to Robert Bull. First game, first goal. Good stuff, and well done from his teammates.
Yeah, exactly. Lovely moment. Every single player got to him, and now the ball tossed high, and going up high for Palmerston was Holmby. Ball out of the middle for Palmerston, now in the right forward pocket. But Brodie Lake, the man we said would have to that step up in this second quarter, he's up against first gamer for Palmerston and Justin Taylor, and he's one out there. The ball's dribbled forward. There's a free kick picked out.
Church, I think
and that's going to go to Church against Matt Kennard. He's not happy, but that's a little chip forward to the left forward pocket to Matt Dennis, the big ruckman. He's moved forward.
Good change, I reckon,
yeah,
too.
Look, I love it. I was talking about Shannon Rusker before to see what moves he would make. Hollenby's the one who's gone into the ruck for Palmerston. Why? So that Matt Dennis can go into forward 50. What does that do for them? Enables them to straighten up and kick long to a big target.
Well, Dennis is going to have to kick long, about 40 metres. The ruckman, slight angle to the right. It is a big up and under, and that has just made it through for a behind. And so now Palmerston have to defend as it's coming out quickly through the Crocs.
So Bowden, we're used to seeing, has a bounce, casual as you like, over the top to Clark. Clark has a bounce, runs around Hollenby. Clark delivers it to Farah, looking for Farah at the back. Will Farah drops the footy as he took off, so he's spent it before he had it. Now he's under a lot of pressure. Well done, they've butted up here. Back to Bull, the goal kicker, close to the boundary line, and it's taken over the boundary line by Sandy Brock. Good recovery there for the Magpies defenders, but Will Farah was away and he dropped the footy.
He seems to do it more often than not. Will Farah doesn't seem to hang on to the footy strongly. It's quite surprising, really. Such an experienced player.
So Gallo nominates against Hollenby. As we mentioned, Dennis for Palmerston down in the forward line now. Gallo just over the back, gets a tap forward, but it's been patted forward into the left forward pocket. Will Farah can't pick it up again, can't get the ball, which was dribbling forward, and he tapped it down to his knee and it dribbles out over the boundary.
Someone needs to take in that spray, you know, the sticky spray.
And it's going to be a ball tossed in 10 metres from the left post, still in favour of the Crocodiles. And Gallo pushing up, and he gets another easy tap against Hollenby, but it's the Palmerston Magpies that kick it out of defence. Matt Dennis is doing everything at the moment, tackled without the ball. He's a long way from home. He's been tackled without the ball from the Crocs Innes. Matt Dennis quickly plays on, kicks it down to Taylor. Taylor's a long way from home too. He's underneath the scoreboard, so he's halfway in the wing. He has to kick it back to Shadford. He takes off down the wing, chips it down, and that is gone through the hands of a player, and the Palmerston Magpies heads drop, and there's going to be a ball tossed in halfway down the outside wing.
They're actually using the footy okay there, Palmerston, that one little error.
So young Hollenby is pushed in the back. The umpire says play on. Comes to the back for the Palmerston Magpies, over the top to Stone, takes the mark, the centre square. What does he have on? Looking for the big target, and Matty Dennis, he's calling for it. Kicks it further than that. Chester can run onto it. He goes without it. Applies the pressure. McAdam spins out of a tackle. Not the second one. That should be holding the footy. The umpire says no. Aaron Lonergan's in there. Hand passes out. Matty Dennis, clever.
Tap.
Back to Philo. Philo goes for goal straight through the middle, and Joshua Philo kicks the goal for the Palmerston Magpies. They have their 6 on the board as he comes to the bench, but well worked there by the Palmerston Magpies. Good effort by Aaron Lonergan to get the ball out of the pack, and then Matty Dennis just to hit it to a teammate here. Look at the big
just
ruckman.
wonderful slap, isn't it? Just terrific. And as soon as Joshua Philo got hold of that footy, I knew it was going to be a goal. Just such a balanced player, really straight approach to the goal. Kicked it low. You can look at the flags over there. There's a fair breeze blowing across Marara at the moment. He drilled that ball through. Well done, Palmerston. They stay within reach here.
So who's going to... Matt Dennis has now moved back into the ruck. He's going to go up against Corbett from the Crocs, and Hollenby now has gone forward. So Matt Dennis, both go up the ruckman without it.
Ooh.
Running through was Jeff Garlett. He's now been placed on the ball. He gets a handball out to Watts. Get a hip pump fist here in the commentary box from Dominic McCormack.
Good
and
mark.
A great mark from Will Farah. Will Farah takes a brilliant mark. Second grab as he was going down to the ground. That was put in brilliantly by Watts. And that is a good mark. One that he needed to take. He's dropped probably a few casual ones.
He has.
And then that great pack mark there.
He took 2 bites at it, but the impressive part was he was up high, kept his eyes on the footy, and as he was coming down, was able to take the second grab. Let's watch his approach now. So
the captain looking for his 6th goal, and he's kicked it straight, and it's just curving now to the left, and the outswinger has gone through for a behind. So Districts 65 leading Palmerston 43.
Just watching young Sandy Brock couldn't put his arm up there on the mark, so they're still playing him on Will Farah, but he's disadvantaged at the moment as he plays on quick kick out, looking for that man. Cole Emery takes the mark, left half back, kicks it up towards Matty Dennis in front. Corbett did well there. Aaron Lonergan, as we know, goes in hard. Matty Dennis back in there as well. Lake is under the footy. It's close to the boundary line. Matty Dennis takes it, and then it's taken over by Chester. So boundary thrown directly in front of the Southern District's interchange box.
And just found out Bull's first Premier League game this season. Played the last 5 games in Div 1, but did play Premier League back in 2017, 2018. So been a while since he's been back in it.
Good to see him get around him as well, like Dominic said. So Philo goes without it, just trying to bust through the pack here. There's a bit of an arm wrestle happening. You can see that Palmerston are trying to get the momentum back. They're working hard here, both teams. So directly in front of our commentary box, another throw up.
So easily won by Matt Dennis. He's back in the ruck, comes to Emery. Emery down on the ground, but the ball is spilled out to Watts, the youngster. And now the ball is just in huge. God, Emery is always so tough over the footy. And there is a ball. Schofield was on top of him, the ball to be placed. So ball thrown up. Corbett and Matt Dennis go at it.
That was Emery again. Smothered that.
Smothered it. So now we're on the wing in front of the commentary. Going without is Matt Duffy playing his 101st game. Celebrated 100 Premier League games last week. Ball comes out to Emery. Hurried kick off the ground. Goes over the head of Ray. And there's 3 players that harass a Crocs player, and there is going to be a free kick given away.
That was a good pick up by the furthest umpire away.
Campbell with the headgear on, swings around quickly, puts it up. There's numbers there for the Crocs, but it falls down to Lonigan. He falls over as he kicks it on his left, still down in the left forward pocket, and the Crocs have done well to keep that inside their forward line and getting up slowly. That was good pressure there from McMasters.
So ball up close to the boundary line here, attacking 50 for the Palmerston Magpies. Under pressure here, the Crocs defenders, but look at him run away with it here in the arms of Staunton. Not a good kick off the boot. The bounce favours them. Garlett picks it up, has a runner out wide, making Josiah Farah work. Shadford showing a bit of speed, but Farah gets there first. Hand passes back to McAdam, who ran down. Just dances around Shadford, back to Josiah Farah, that is. And just a chip inboard to Matty Cannard. Can't take the mark. Anson, good body work. Back to Cannard. Bounces across the face of goals. Will Farah keeps it in, tries to dance around. Took on Brock. And the umpire says throw it in. So there was either a free kick for a high, free kick for holding the footy, or deliberate out of bounds. Then we've got a boundary throw in.
Boundary throw in.
None of the above.
None of the above. Good to see Jeff Garlett having been put into the midfield. Has a couple of touches already. Let's see what he can do.
So ball tossed in 10 metres around from the right post. Goes over the back of both. And the big up and under from Werung. And Werung probably had more time than he expected after it missed both of the ruckmen. And now there's going to be another ball thrown in. 5 metres this side on the left post. Still in favour for the Crocs. Umpire just measures where he's going to toss it back in. And it was Timms in front. One down by Corbett easily. And to the top of the square, Will Farah can't get the first mark. Drops it to the ground, and Will Farah picks up his 6th goal of the afternoon, and he's kicked it off the ground. And more importantly for Southern Districts, it's their 11th for the afternoon. Districts 11-5-71 to Palmerston 6-7-43.
Desmond Corbett in the ruck contest here did really well. It's the best thing he's done all afternoon. Just grabbed hold of that ball really quickly, snapped it forward. The vision might not quite show it. Here we go, Will Farah. Sandy Brock just in front of him by a couple of metres, lost contact with him, just didn't quite know where he was, didn't get back to him quick enough, tried to harass him, ball on the ground. Will Farah soccers through his 6th goal. Well done. He's just been so persistent this afternoon, Will Farah.
So Cliffy Timms has been put into the ruck against Gallo now. Matty Dennis having a spell on the sidelines here. Wombe's gone forward, the young guy. So Gallo wins it straight down to Cannard. Up and under kick. Good body work by Garling. But crashing through is Josiah Farah. Quick kick in by Duffy. Will Farah looking again and straight on the chest. Well done. Good leading, but just too fast there for Sandy Brock.
And that's the key, Tash, as you say. He is so quick, which is why when they get the ball in fast and there's lots of space, there's hardly a defender in the competition who will stop him. And that was a terrific example there where they just got it in fast.
Let alone one injured.
That's right.
He's
exactly.
Clearly injured. Why?
Clearly
a man
injured.
has kicked 6 goals. You don't put an injured player on.
But this is where he needs to lead. So he's 40 metres out, 45-degree angle.
No.
And kicks it straight across the face of goal. That's where you want him to lead to, those spaces there, not so much deep into the pocket. So through for a behind, Southern Districts 11-6-72, Palmerston Magpies 6-7-43, nearly 14 minutes gone in 3rd quarter.
So the Palmerston Magpies spread over to the left here on the commentary wing. Ball kicked out, and it's going to go down to Sandy Brock. He put his left arm up, which is heavily strapped now. It's laying limp on his side, and the ball has been kicked off the ground from Duffy. Hits a player. Running forward was Horbury, and gets it off the ground, Matt Cannard. Duffy gives a handball to Matt Cannard, who kept running. Going through traffic is Staunton. Ball just gets knocked out of his hand. Watts picks it up. Goes left, goes right, goes straight, and misses it to the left.
Misses, gee whiz. Jaden Watts, great presence of mind, though, from such a young player. That was terrific ball movement by the Southern District's forward group. Watts perhaps should have finished that off a bit better.
Good kick out, Matty Dennis. Well done. Takes a good mark against Bowden. Outsized him, looking for McMaster. Just misread it. Goes over the top. Picked up by Watts. That's Watts takes on his opponents. Tackled without the footy. Hand passed the ball away. Josiah Farah picks it up on the left. Going into the goal square. Well done, Sandy Brock there. Just used his body against Will Farah, and that one goes through for a behind. But Brock is trying his heart out here. His sister plays in the team with me, and she is an absolute gun. Probably our most consistent player all season is Jess Brock.
He's having to do it everything, the injured man. He kicks it out, goes short to Matt Dennis, and a great tackle and a great run down. Jaden Clark from the Crocs, well done. Matt Dennis, the ruckman, thought he would take off after the short kick in the left back pocket, and Jaden Clark has brought the big man down from behind. And now Jaden Clark will get an opportunity to have a shot on goal, 45 metres out, slight angle to the right.
Yeah, to be really critical, where was the talk from the Palmerston defence? Where was it?
So Jaden Clark looking for his second of the afternoon. Kicked one in the second. Can he add it in the third? Comes up, kicks it over the head of Matt Dennis and kicks it through the big sticks. Jaden Clark adds his second for the afternoon. It's the District's 12th. District's 12-8-80, leading Palmerston 6-7-43.
Well done there. That was a terrific chase down. We see it here. Matty Dennis thinking he can run away easily. I'm not sure what he was thinking, that he had time and space to take a bounce with a smaller, quicker player on him. He suffered the ultimate consequence. Will Farah needs to take a little bit of a note of that as well. Look at where Jaden Clark kicked that footy. Aimed at the right goalpost, swung in with the breeze to kick a goal. Will Farah, next opportunity, got to do the same.
So back in the middle, Dennis Gallo. So fortunately for Matty Dennis, goal was kicked due to him getting caught holding the footy. There's that man Watts, pushed out of the way by Emery. Emery goes in again. Gets the ball, needs to get rid of it, does to Perry. Perry hand passes over the top to Masters. Can go for a shot here, he does. Looks good off the boot, but just misses to the right side. So through for a behind. Probably had a little bit more time than McMasters. So Dingo with the kick out here for Southern Districts.
And he opts to go out to the outer wing, and the District side are easily going to come out of the forward 50 through McAdam. McAdam got a handball away. Two handballs in the middle of the park, and leading forward is Duffy. Ball goes over the top of him. Will Farah with a big fly at the back inside the 50 metre, and he's not able to take it. Coming through as Palmerston Magpies. That'd have to be an incorrect disposal from Anson. He tried to take them on, took too many steps, and the ball has been turned over through the Crocs. Rusker. Rusker goes out to the left. Someone's down on the ground after being hit in the back of the head, but we're going to stay with the play of the ball. Down there, I think, that's not Brody Lake.
There's a few
players
tough
getting
clashes
over there.
That's for sure.
They're calling the trainer, so he hasn't moved.
I don't know if that's Staunton or McLaughlin, actually. So he's still down on the ground. We can't see his jumper at the moment. He's over on the far side.
Got the head down, and the umpires called this to a stop here. Just looking to see what happens here. Brandon Rusker kicked for it's Horbury. So it's Nathan Horbury lost the footy and then copped a hip in the head by the look of that.
I think he might have got a knee on the way down too.
Yeah, he's up though, Horbury here. He's up onto his knees. So I'd say he's copped a really hard hit to the head, and perhaps two in a row on the way down.
Just friendly fire down as he went to the ground. So the good news is he's actually on his knees at the moment. Two trainers and the water
Yeah.
Carrier is out with him.
Certainly nothing intentional there from Chester, I think it was, who was running past the man in the contest, and then the ball pushed out of bounds. So there should be a boundary throw-in when they deal appropriately with Horbury here.
Well, unfortunately, though, his afternoon will have to be done. He was down for too long, and that is a head knock. So he's holding his head and just coming off unassisted, which is great news as well.
You can see in the background there, Matty Cunard. He's actually the assistant coach for Southern Districts, and he's out there actually letting them know where they need to run to. So, you know, the stoppage has actually helped, and that's a key thing as well when your assistant coach can get out there and deliver instructions.
Geez, Horbury, he's been a terrific addition, Shannon, to this team this afternoon, particularly when players like Rory O'Brien are not in the team today. So Horbury's been really good. It'd be interesting to see whether he's a qualified player or not.
So he's going to come off unassisted, but you would have to think he's going to sit out for concussion test. So we'll go back with the play with Natasha Medbury.
So going to go out of bounds just in front of Lake and Campbell. So under the scoreboard, just favouring Southern Districts by a couple of metres. So boundary throw-in. Matty Dennis and Gallo set up for it as Horbury just slowly makes his way off. But yeah, he has been a great player for Southern Districts today. So Gallo wins the tap back to Emery, fighting for it in there as Philo. Emery again goes in for a third crack. He's taken out, he's laying on the ground. The umpire thinks found a free kick, and it should go the way of Emery, and it does. So directly under the scoreboard, centre wing, chips it sideways, dangerous, and Anson takes the mark. But I tell you what, he was made to earn it. It was a dangerous kick, and it just floated in the air and was a bit of a hospital pass, but earned the free kick. Played well today, Anson. Left half back here for the Pies. Much forward. Kicks it over the top to that man, Kyle Emery. The only one running, of course, was Kyle Emery on centre wing. Now he's got cramp. No wonder he's done that much running. Got leather poisoning today. He's looking to go sideways again. There's still not much movement forward. Now there's movement. Well done by Campbell. Can't take the mark. Goes over his head and goes out of bounds in front of the first gamer and Justin Taylor. So a boundary throw-in right from the Palmerston Magpies goal, about 70 metres out.
So slowing down the play here. We're time on in the third quarter. Dennis for Palmerston up against Gallo from the Crocs. Dennis just grabs it out of the ruck, if you don't mind. Smothered as he tried to get a kick away. McAdam for Palmerston gives it off to Lake. He just puts it on the boot and they go down the outer wing, the Crocs. Ball down on the ground. There's about 6 players around it. Picked up by Cannard. He gets a great handball out to Staunton. Staunton takes a bounce. Can't gather it. Can't pick up the ball. Now he does. Gets an ugly handball out, and that is going to be balled up 60 metres from the Crocs goalpost, and that is all because Staunton wasn't able to bounce it properly. He had a mountain of space.
He could have kicked it. He could have bounced it right into an open goal, but...
I tell you what, though, you see a little bit of magic there from Matty Cannard. You know, he hasn't played full-time footy for ages. That's why he was such a good player, and he was.
Corbett up against Timms. Ball down on the ground, and it just dribbles out. Crocs are going to be able to pick it up through Garlett. Ball comes into the left forward pocket. Will Farah goes too early. It was 2 on 1. And Sandy Brock, that's going to go to Will Farah.
The umpire's fallen for it.
Let's have a look.
Bad timing from Will Farah, the captain, and it has been picked out that Sandy Brock supposedly pushed him in the back, and it is going to allow Will Farah to line up for his 7th goal of the afternoon. He picks up the blade of grass, throws it in the air. He's tossing and twirling the football. He is in probably about 10 metres in the left forward pocket.
Yeah, here he is. He's very nervous. You're right.
He comes in now, 30 metres, kicks through, kicks it, and kicks it to the left. So he, again, could have got more goals on the board, but he still has 6 to his name.
Well, he's very fortunate to have had that shot there, to say the least, Will Farah. Sandy Brock's done a really good job, particularly in his injured state.
So the siren sounds, it's 3-quarter time. A lot of players just hang their heads, a few high five, very warm conditions here in Darwin, but it is Southern Districts 12-9-81 leading Palmerston 6-8-44.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.
Oh, yeah! Gee, she got a good leg on her, eh? What a show-off.
Did you see my goal?
Hey.
I thought I played a deadly game.
You should be ashamed of yourself and showing off and asking for all that attention. And looking like that.
You can do something to change the ending.
Did you see my goal?
Hey.
I thought I played a deadly game.
What? You should be ashamed of yourself and showing off and asking for all that attention. And looking like that.
Is this your right?
You want to come over to the club with us?
What? You're not going anywhere. You're coming with me.
Come on, Bruss. What are you going on about? Look what you're wearing. It's the same thing. We're going, having a chat.
You can change how it plays out.
Hey, bro, you all right or what? Come on, man. Let's go have a chat. Gotta be better, man. What's been going on?
Do something to change the ending. It's everyone's responsibility to prevent violence.
So we can feel wherever you feel together, real together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing could ever bring me down.
Mother Nature can be frighteningly predictable in the Territory this time of year. Heavy rains and damaging winds can cause significant problems and disruption, particularly if you're unprepared, while downed power lines and flash flooding can be lethal. To ensure you're ready, visit powerwater.com.au/safety or text SAFETY to 0428 323 991 for more information. Because staying safe and ready around Mother Nature should be second nature.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona.
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Flight Centre.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
In the quarter, but once again it is three-quarter time. It's the Crocs with a healthy lead, 12-9-81 to Palmerston Magpies, 6-8-44.
Amy Blake from the media of AFLNT, just letting us know too that coming into this there was only one goal separating Trent Melville and Will Farah in the Dennis Dunn leading goal kicker award. Melville was 37 leading into this round. Farah was 36. So Farah, we add his 6 goals. He is now on 42, but Trent Melville is yet to play. So maybe the nerves could be riding on the leading goal kicker. I'm sure he would know the tally, but I'd have to say Will Farah, some of his games that we've seen him previously play, his confidence of kicking through the ball in some of the angles haven't been what we're used to from him.
No, not at all. I mean, he's a quality goal kicker and has been for many, many years. We've even seen it today that his run-up has been a stuttering run-up. He hasn't kicked through the footy. It almost looks as though he hasn't known what to do when he's on an angle.
Yeah.
And so, whereas, of course, he does. He's such an experienced player. Let's see what happens in the last quarter.
So there is a huge big quarter coming up, and it is the Crocs by 37 points. Natasha Mebry to get us underway.
So Corbett just wins that against Hollenby, kicking in danger. The umpire says play on. It was kicked out of his hands. So Districts clear the centre through Rusker, kicking out wide for a teammate, but getting there first is Stone. Stone looking for Chester up the ground, just in the way. Well done, taken by Schofield there. Back to Rusker, back to Schofield. It's for the Crocs. Good work by Chester, just kept going Philo close to the boundary line, and it's kept in. Ducked his head. The umpire is going to award the free kick. So Matthew Philo with the free kick here for Palmerston. Goes sideways looking for Cole Emery. Still a long way from goals here, Palmerston, but Cole Emery, good deliverer of the footy, goes long. Goes to the top of the square. Tim's at the back, sets himself, and it goes through for a behind. So no crummers there for the Palmerston Magpies. And the first score for the last quarter goes to the Palmerston Magpies.
Dingo plays on quickly, goes straight down the middle, finds Innes. He gets it on the second bounce, goes out towards the scoreboard end, and a great mark by Weirung. Weirung is underneath the scoreboard on the outer, so it is directly halfway down the wing. He goes further and he's kicked it out of bounds on the full, and that is not a good option there from Weirung.
Just about to sing his praises too, aren't we, to say, you know, how well he's been going, and then he kicks the ball out of bounds. But gee, he's one player over the last 3 weeks for Southern Districts who can absolutely hold his head up, because his play in defence has been excellent. He's teaming together so well with Schofield and Bowden.
So kicked now from Palmerston down towards Brock, and the one man with one hand wasn't able to take the mark, but he did well at ground level. Shedforth gets it forward into the left forward pocket and run off it nicely. Freeman was going for the ball, but the Crocs tried to get it out of their forward 50 and it wasn't able to be cleared. The Crocs now attempt again through Brandon Rusker. He takes off, goes running towards the grandstand wing, kicks it forward, picked up and nicely chipped forward. And that was Schofield. Gee, he looks balanced when he's got the ball. Ball just goes over the top of the Crocs player. And on the bottom for Palmerston, he's going to have to call a ball up. He's had let that go for a while. Mishai Perry Jr. gets up off the ground. Took a time to get the whistle going, and the ball's tossed up quickly.
So Joey Thompson, good body work on Farah. In there is Duffy. Thompson again. Farah goes after him. Perry's good, lays a strong tackle, and the umpire's going to ball it up again. So it travelled about 2 metres sideways. So 55 out from the Southern District's goal. Umpire asks the ruckman to just set. Corbett easily against Hollenby, wins it down. Philo gets taken. The umpire says play on. Bursting through the pack is Garlett. An open goal square, and he's kicked the goal. Jeffrey Garlett has his second for the game and just bursts through the pack from the 50, mind you, and it bounces through the goal. So Southern Districts have broken their cycle and they've kicked a goal in the last quarter. So as we watch here on replay, just Jeffrey Garlett wanted this footy, picks it up, gets it now, just bursts through the pack, kicks it from the paint of 50, and it bounces through.
Terrific kick, wasn't it, on the outside of the right boot there? And that's what you want to see from Jeff Garlett, getting involved in the action, attacking the ball with pace, and then getting good kicks away. We just haven't seen enough of that at all. Every now and again, we've seen glimpses of it. Shannon Rusker would want him far more involved, and good to see that he's had him up the ground.
So ball tossed up Corbett goes up high. Great contest from Holmby as well. Ball down on the ground. No one able to get it out. Coming through is Matt Cannard. He got a kick to it, went after the ball that dribbled along the ground. He's going to pick up a high free kick. And he goes quickly outside to the outer. Just gets it in front of Duffy. Says run after it. And the ball's going to actually run out in front of him. And so poor decision making in some of the targets because Duffy was free, but the ball's just beaten him outside and gone over the boundary.
Yes, Matt Cannard. He probably knows he shouldn't really be out there, but he's doing what he needs to do for his footy club.
Ball up, attacking side of the wing for Southern Districts. Corbett was up against Holby. Now the Southern District side in through the middle. A chain of 3 hand passes. Now the left foot comes in and finds Brody Lake, and then the second juggle, if you don't mind. Brody Lake has gone forward. Hasn't called much of him. Well out of his range. He's going back, just looking for a couple of leads. Jeff Garlett wants it at the top of the square. Brody Lake, though,
he's looking confident.
He's going to take a chance. He's going to have to hit this on the paint of 50. Brody Lake stutters in, and it's going to be 50 metres, and that is a bad decision from the Palmerston number 6 Stone. He did not attempt to get out of the 10-metre zone.
He was I was explained this by the umpire in the last 2 games that because you're following the player, it's not within the distance.
So Brody Lake comes in, kicks a goal because he was moved to the top of the square, and every single player comes up to Brody Lake and gives him a pat on the head, his first for the night. But you're right, because Jones was next to him and he did not attempt to get out of the way as well.
If you were following your player, your opponent, it is okay. The umpires have explained it twice to me in the last 2 weeks because I have asked the question myself, and it is fair enough. I can understand that.
Yeah, but it's because of Jones. So Brody Lake was on his approach. Jones, his own player, was about 6 metres to his right, and the opposition should be allowed to stand there if Jones is going to stand inside the protected zone.
If you think of the way Lake was bit buddy-like, he was going out
Stuttering
on that arc, so he actually got closer to him than what he actually started. But back in the middle, Dennis has gone back into the ruck for Palmerston. Comes down to Garlett. That move into the middle for him has paid off for the Crocs. Perry goes without it. Well done, McMasters here. Cleans up. Kicks it out to Church. Running past. Doesn't get it back. Church with an up and under kick. Probably a poor kick in the end, but dropped by the Southern Districts player out there. By Garlett, that was. Should have probably taken it. Garland comes out with it to Campbell. Campbell looking for Hollenby, just misjudged it. Comes to the back. Cadam's going to get there first. Good pickup. Knew he had his teammate out wide. Beautiful hands. Here's Dingo running. We're used to seeing this. Kicks it out wide to Lake. Right on centre wing. Takes off Lake. Kicks it into the 50, looking for Farah. It goes over their heads, but no, Farah takes the mark. The umpire pays it. Well read by Farah. I thought that was going over the top, and he gets his mitts up and takes it in front of Anson. So 45-degree angle. He's going to kick it from 45. Let's see his approach this time.
Yeah, he's wonderful, isn't he? He's just got such great pace off the mark. And then his vertical leap is incredible. He just needs to get his timing right, which he certainly did on that occasion.
And just chips it over the top for his brother in Josiah. Farah takes it.
Coming up for about his 3rd kick of the afternoon, I reckon.
And then he gives it back to his brother. They're playing 1-2 here. That's poor checking by the Palmerston defenders. So Will Farrell, he just gives his brother a bit of a smile for that. Probably wanted to pass it off because he didn't want the responsibility and the nervousness to kick it. But he's got it back. But this is an easier angle and closer in. So he's going for his 7th. On the mark with McMasters, and he's kicked his 7th. Will Farah kicks his 7th for the game. Southern Districts, again, have their 2nd for this quarter. Their 3rd for the quarter, sorry, and they have really broken that hoodoo that they had in the last quarter.
Yes, 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, absolutely scoreless. But now 3 goals in a row. One by Brody Lake, very fortunate. Jeffrey Garlett, very good goal. Will Farah, he certainly earned that one. And again, he hasn't been perfect this afternoon, but geez, worked hard. And 7 goals on the board for that effort. You'd be thinking, gee, if I could just sneak a few more here to get in front of Trent Melville.
Well, he's got it out to 6. So Nightcliff Tigers are going to be playing this afternoon. They've just started against Wanderers at Nightcliff Oval. So
who do Southern Districts have next week?
Waratah.
Waratahs.
Yep.
Oh, it could be bags in the
big finish coming up.
Palmerston.
Big finish coming up in the Dennis Dumm Leading Goal Kicking Award. And yes, they won't have etched the name on it just yet, but we haven't moved too far out of the middle. 54-point lead here to the Crocodiles. Dennis just wins it and takes it out of the ruck. Hurried kick forward into his forward line. Lonigan's not able to pick it up. Freeman is. He gives the ball on to the running Joshua Philo, and it is a dribble kick off Philo, and it allows the Crocs to clear out of their defensive line. 1-2 give to McAdam. He has just all the time in the world, and instead of going, he switches it down and finds Garlett, who's out still in the defensive 50 line, and he just kicks it over the head, and he should have gone down the middle. Dingo chases a ball that had no real purpose on it. Dingo gives it off to Schofield. Schofield goes running down the commentary wing, kicks it forward to Duffy. Duffy takes a mark on the 50-metre line. Still a long way to home. He gets Will Farah on the chest, and Will Farah, he has been leading all day, and he's going to line up for his 8th goal of the afternoon.
And there he is on that lead again. He had metres in front of his opponent there. Absolutely 5-10 easily. Taking the mark on his chest. Needs to just take a moment here and go back and kick straight through the footy.
He is about 10 metres in from the boundary, so not an easy one for Farah. And he comes in. Has he got his 8th? As soon as he hit it, he put 2 hands in the air. He knew it was on target. And Will Farah, the captain for the Southern District side, has picked up his 8th goal of the afternoon, and he now goes to 44 goals for the season, and he gets that margin in the leading goal kicker out to 7.
Matt Duffy here using the footy well, and you just see him on the lead there. His defender knew that he was absolutely done. Will Farah way out in front, and he can thank Keegan Dingo for saving a pretty ugly kick from Jeff Garlett back here in defence for why that ball got down there. Jeff Garlett trying to kick around the corner on the outside of the boot. Terrible. Keegan Dingo made it look much better than what it was, and then got it forward beautifully.
Back in the middle, Dennis wins it down, trying to get it to Shadfoot. Doesn't end up there. Districts are going to come away with it. Hand pass, but Matty Dennis gets back in there. Flicks it up. Umpire lets that go. Campbell can't pick it up for the Magpies. Shadfoot tries to kick it off the ground. Bit of a tussle in there. Shadfoot finally wins it, needs to get rid of it. Stands up in the tackle. Hand passes out. Josiah Farah intercepts it. Rusker goes without it. Farah comes through to clean up again. Shadfoot went for the player, not the footy. Overran the footy in the end, and a good tackle laid on by Garlett. Geez, that move into the middle and on the ball was paid off for Jeff Garlett, getting himself into the game. A throw up, gets it to Emery. Emery to Philo. Philo kicks it up forward to Freeman, but well done by Bull. I think that was a bit of a flick up to McAdam, but the umpire lets it go. Thompson can't take the mark. Good quick hands by Lake. Back to Rusker. Rusker tries to square it up, but Matty Dennis takes the mark. Corbett just did not even attempt to run for that footy.
Getting a bit scrappy out there at the moment. Ball just floating around with no real purpose, and the ball is on the ground. Josiah Farah is underneath the pack. The ball's not even near him, and just getting off on top of him is Garling.
I don't think he had
Players
the back then.
he was not near the ball, and he is... couple of players on him as Corbett puts his hand up for the Crocs. He'll go up against Dennis. Good tussle in there. Dennis just taps it down to Josiah Farah.
It landed straight in his lap, didn't it? Riley Stone was already tackling him.
Exactly. So we're going to get the ball tossed up in directly the same spot. Commentary wing. Ball tapped forward by Corbett. And it was free kick going to Matty Cannard.
They're laughing. The two old guys on each other are laughing.
Cannard gets up. Oh, lucky there wasn't a free 50-metre pass there. Josiah Farah gave it back, a handball, and it bounced to Church. Church is going to get the ball back from Emery. Church is on the defensive wing side of the commentary. He tries to go for a torpedo straight down the commentary wing. Dingo hit it hard. tried to get a mark on the second grab.
Dingo thought he was 21 again. I'm going to have to give him a bit of stick at touch on Monday.
And Broderick
He's
Church.
a bit sore.
He is very sore. So is Lonigan, because Dingo crashed the pack and Lonigan was at the front of that pack.
And Broderick Church clearly saw a teammate down the field who he didn't like and said, here, I'm going to try and kick you a torpedo,
Here,
and
Captain.
you can try and mark this.
That was the captain too that it was intended to, but Dennis at the front, he tried to tap it down to his captain for the Palmerston, but running through is Jaden Clark for the Crocs. He gets it off to Staunton. Staunton with a ugly out kick, might fall at the lap now of Brodie Clark. He goes one way, goes the other, and Brodie Lake, if you don't mind, fancy footwork from the youngster, and Brodie Lake, who's been moved forward in this second half of the match, and Brodie Lake picks up his second goal in this quarter, and the Crocs are running away with it at the moment. 17-9, 111, leading Palmerston 6-9-45.
Dean Staunton getting the ball forward there was a miss kick, and Brodie Lake trapped it beautifully, picked it up. He had the run going past of Jaden Watts. That goal wouldn't have happened unless Jaden Watts put the effort to enable him to dummy a handball sideways. Then he came back inboard in the corridor. Good straight kick at goal. Well done, Brodie Lake. But that support play from Southern Districts was very good.
Ball's thrown up. One by Gallo. There's that man again, Staunton. He's dangerous in the middle. Hand passes over to a teammate, and Duffy, it's still in the centre square. They haven't cleared it yet. Poor hand pass in the end. Cole Emery's hanging around, gets it now on the left, up and under kick, making Matty Dennis, the ruckman, work for it. How does it bounce? Straight over his head, but to a teammate, the Palmerston Magpies. Matty Ray takes it on the bounce, hand passes to Campbell that goes without it. Here's Dingo, one bounce through the centre square, kicks it from the centre circle, looking for his teammates up forward. Punched by Garlett to himself, taps it again to himself, falls over to the district's forwards. Lake should have been rewarded with holding the footy, but the mark is taken by Garling. Hand passes to Church. Church has Campbell on centre wing. The Magpies just need to slow it down here. Cole Emery leads for him. It's a terrible kick. Just lands inside the boundary. Cole Emery can't believe he's lucky. He was by himself. Campbell just with a lazy kick in the end and a boundary thrown directly in front of the interchange for the Palmerston Magpies.
Yeah, very disappointing there for Emery. He just works so hard, treasures every possession. No luck on that occasion.
Ball tossed in right into the eyes of the two ruckmen. Gallo got a tap to it. Emery is going to see the ball tossed up, but he just stood up in a tackle by two players, one of them including McAdam. Ball tossed up. Holmby goes up against Gallo. Ball falls down to McAdam. He kicks it up and under. We still haven't travelled too far. We have now, but that's off the fist of Emery. He fists it forward about 20 metres, and the ball is going to be tossed up, thrown back in, directly in front of the Crocodiles interchange area. Emery's been running hard.
I think he forgot which way he was actually going then, because he actually thumped it forward for the Crocs.
Very slow to his feet, and his feet aren't moving too fast at the moment. Ball down now. They're going the wrong way at the moment. Matthew Philo even. He tried to pick up the ball, and the ball's on the ground. Running through was Anson. A lot of tired players out there, but not this youngster. Watts just picks out Kennard on the 50-metre line. He handballs it off to Garlett, and he gives a short ball to Brandon Rusker. Brandon Rusker wasn't able to trap the ball, and it's going to come out for the Magpies through Anson and the ball. There's a lot of tired players out there. Hollenby wasn't able to take a mark he should have taken, and it is going to go over the boundary through Watts. And a lot of tired bodies out there. Ball to be tossed in 70 metres out from the Crocs' left post.
Yes, in the wind-down stages for this game, both teams very tired. Still really impressed to see some of the nice things that Jaden Watts does. That was a beautiful left-foot kick before that he found Matt Carnard with. Almost was able to set up a goal as a result.
So Hollenby, they're keeping the young fella in the ruck. He's only going to learn, and he's doing very well. Philo taken out of it by that man Kennard, showing his experience and his toughness. The ball's delivered into the 50 for the Crocs, and Tom Smith under enormous pressure just goes for the boundary. What's the umpire going to call? And he says throw it in. Benefit of the doubt big time there. Maybe it was a miss kick, because I think he was going one way and that was the boundary. So boundary throw in.
They haven't played any of the ones that were far more obvious than that today, so there's no way that was going down, that one.
So left of the Southern District's goal, 55 metres out. It's going to land on the paint of the 50. So at the back is Jaden Watts, taps it to himself, now tries to pick it up, but he's tackled without the footy. Jaden Watts a third time, picks it up this time, dummies around another one, drops the footy, and the umpire's pinned him this time, so Aaron Lonigan plays the advantage. It's a poor kick into Garling, but he scoops it up, then hand passes to Perry. He goes without it. Just a few errors here for the Palmerston Magpies creeping in. Watts is in there again. Bowden tries to slam the footy on his boot. Taken without it was Brock. The umpire's letting everything go here. We're charging at the footy. Good work by young Perry. Put his body on the line there. The ball comes out to McAdam. McAdam on the left. He can't make good purchase on the footy. Back to McAdam. It's in the 50 here for Southern Districts. Dances around one and just kicks it in as casual as you like to Michael Bowden. Thought about playing on, but he's directly in front, about 40 metres out.
And they all pointed to him then too and said, go for goal.
Just go back, take your time.
Will Farrell wants it, though.
He's standing there by himself saying, come on, Michael, kick it to me. Kick it to me. He's played a terrific game this afternoon, Michael Bowden. This would be well-deserved if he was able to slot this through.
He still wants the footy. Do you do that to your captain, Butt? Yeah, you've got to go for the goal, I agree. And they all get around him as well, which is good to see. You spoke about it before, Dominic, is that the effort that he's put in.
Yeah, look at Charlie McAdam too, the way that he put in a lot of effort there. There was so much scrappy play. Charlie McAdam followed up the footy, really worked hard to get hold of it, and then was the first one to really get hold of it and then look up, sight a player in the clear and find him. And who was it? It was a player who was instrumental, in fact, getting it out to Charlie McAdam originally, and Michael Bowden just running further down the field, creating options. Well done to both of them.
And their celebration together, Charlie McAdam and Michael Bowden, they've got a little something happening in that back line, but their little celebration was a bit of a high five with the jump.
And he got a few high fives. He's just run back now to fullback. Got a high five from Dingo as he ran past, because Dingo is like, I'm not coming to the forward 50 to celebrate that. It is time on here in the final term, and we must say, wow, what a finish from the Crocs here. They've kicked 18 goals, but they have kicked 6 goals in this final term, and Palmerston have kicked 1 point. So this is a big finish coming up for them. Not one out of the middle easily for Palmerston. Tap forward by the Crocodiles, but only as far as a Palmerston player. It's kicked out to Emery. He's on the No More emblem that's been painted on Marara Oval here. It's the No More round, round 17. And for Palmerston, Garling has it. He drops it forward to Emery, makes him do even more work.
He must
Emery
have about 40
has
touches.
just not stopped running all day. Garlett's on the mark. Emery, 80 metres from goal, kicks it up, goes over the head, even including the big ruckman Dennis. The Crocs try to clear it out, big up and under, and it's going to fall in the lap, though, of Ray. Ray just fishing for a 50-metre, thought he was touched as he was heading back for his mark. And he's going to have to kick it on the paint of 50. Slight angle. He goes quickly into the right forward pocket, finds Dennis. And Dennis is going to line up 2 metres in from the boundary, about 10 metres around from the goalpost. A very tight angle here, as unfortunately Brock has come off. His left arm was heavily strapped after an injury, and he's not going to take much further part in this game. He's got nothing left, and hopefully the left shoulder's not too injured. Dennis, the ruckman, from the right forward pocket, if you don't mind. The big men showing them how it's done in the right forward pocket. Slightest angle, and the ruckman gets their first goal of the final term, but they still trail the district's lead, 117 to Palmerston, 51, 23 minutes gone.
What a wonderful kick-on goal that was by Matthew Dennis. And we just see on screen there Matthew Ray passing it off to him. Had the double grabber, did Matthew Dennis, under a little bit of pressure there. Charlie McAdam almost lucky not to give away 50 metres if he'd managed to knock that ball out. But Matthew Dennis just showing what happens when you go back calmly, line up the goals and kick through the footy. That's not an easy kick. And off he goes. And then they've just told him, no, mate, you're not resting in the forward 50. You've got to, in fact, go and ruck again.
2 last goal kickers. Bowden at one end, kicks it, has to run to full back at the complete opposite end. Dennis kicks in the right forward pocket, wants to celebrate. Nah, get back in the middle.
But Corbett wins the tap down against him that time. Off the side of the boot was Anson. There's that man again, Watts. Just hand passes it back to Anson. Anson up forward looking for Ray. Ray goes without the footy. Good tackle by Dingo. In front is Stone. Stone's under enormous pressure. Just dives on the footy, drags it in. The umpire says ball it up.
No opportunity.
So the Magpies 55 metres from goal. Matty Dennis runs to do the ruck work against Corbett. Neither ruckman to the advantage there. Kicked out of the pack by Clark. Lands into the arms of Warong on centre wing. Scoreboard side, just delivers it to a teammate running past. This is going to go close to the boundary. And again, that's probably the third or fourth time they've gone out of bounds on the full over there, the Crocs, in this game. So Chester's going to have the free kick for the Magpies.
And that was Schofield too, and he is so normally so precise, but
the wind
we are
seems to
late
be a
in the
bit
game.
tricky for them over there.
Yeah, it certainly does. So now the Palmerston Magpies, with the kick in, they go backwards into their defensive 50. Kicks long out to Stone. He's the defensive side of the centre square. He wheels around, a big up and under, and coming through was Mishai Perry. Great battle between him and Brendan Rusker, but has now fallen down into the lap. That's Philo. Kicks forward. McMaster's dropped a mark he shouldn't taken, so McAdam was able to pick it up off the ground. He goes into the middle to Bowden. Bowden gets a handball off to Jones. Jones handballs it forward to Corbett. Corbett from 60 metres out to the top of the square. Not able to get in front was Will Farrett. Timms did well for the Palmerston Magpies side. It's still with the Crocodiles. Comes back into Matt Cannard, the experienced man with a shot on goal, and he has kicked the goal out of absolutely nothing. Matt Cannard, heavily strapped left knee, and he has just off a step, has just kicked it around the body, and I think that was hard running from Staunton.
He's turned back the clock.
Here we see Dean Staunton, great hard running, saw a player in the clear, got the handball away, and even though young Justin Taylor was only a metre or so away from him, you could just see Matt Cannard just calm himself. He knew that he had enough time there, calmed himself, snapped the ball beautifully, never looked like missing. I tell you what, it just takes you back years ago when Matt Cannard, of course, a Nichols medalist in this competition, such a great player for the Crocodiles.
They've kicked 7 straight. So you want to talk about the Crocs. We challenged them. They hadn't kicked a point in the last 2 matches. They've kicked 7 goals straight final term.
Back in the middle, Hollenby, the young fella, gets the tap down, not to advantage. The umpires just landed on his back, was absolutely floored. I thought he was doing the angel, you know, the good old angel stuff.
Doing up his shoelace. I'd do that too if I fell over.
I'd blame the shoelace as well.
So back up again. We're still in the centre square. Kicked off the ground by Watts. Campbell has a bit of speed. He tries to pick it up. Had no one there. Cy Farah just kick over the top. Hasn't Staunton played a game today? Staunton takes the mark. Farah's calling for it. It misses him, and Joey Thompson dropped the mark. In the end, it was uncontested. Picked up by Philo to Taylor. At the back is Emery. Good body work. Good against each other was Farah and Emery. Staunton goes hard at the footy, then tries to hand pass over to Farah. Chester is tackled as he got rid of the footy. Just calm. Michael Bowden dances around. There's his mate in crime and McAdam. Warung gets his head absolutely ripped off by Stone and earns the free kick.
So Stone, he's on the mark, but he's going to go quickly into the middle to Schofield. Schofield takes off for the Crocs straight down the middle of the park, and it is a great juggling mark from Jeff Garlett. Garlett was bumped out of the way, but he took a diving mark to the side, and that is great hands from Garlett. He's going to have to kick it on the paint of 50. I thought Church had done enough to nudge him out of the way, but Garlett with great hands is going to line up for his third of the afternoon. Hits it on the 50 metres. He's not going to even have the carry. Lake went up for a mark, so did Watts for the Crocs, and the ball is spilt down, and it's just taken over the line. Still in the right forward pocket for the Crocs, 5 metres around from the post.
Will Farrell wants another goal. You can just see him hanging around there.
Fair enough too.
The umpire that throws it in, Corbett, as the siren sounds to end the game. A good win by Southern Districts here at Marara.
So Southern Districts 19-9, 123 have defeated the Magpies 7-9-51, and that is a huge 72-point win to the Crocs. So as the Crocs song sings out here at Marara Oval, that is a comprehensive win in the end for the 5th placed Crocodiles. Southern Districts hadn't scored a point in the final term for the last 3 games, and well, didn't they come out and respond? They kicked 7 goals straight in a quarter of footy, and for it to be the final term, that was a huge effort for the Crocodiles. For the Magpies, though, they sit on the bottom of the ladder. They kicked 7 goals, and at stages they looked impressive, considering they have 3 debutants, Dominique, and they really did finish off strongly as well.
I thought they were terrific this afternoon, Palmerston. And that sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? They go down by 72 points. There was no stage of this game where they threw it in. There was no stage where they gave up. I thought their positive attitude was really shown when they came in at the quarter-time break, the half-time break, the 3-quarter time break. They were always first back out on the ground into position. Just fantastic. They go down by 72 points, but I tell you what, they haven't lost too many friends.
So that is a huge afternoon there for the Crocs, though. They really needed that second last game for season 2019-2020, and they have come away with a 72-point win.
There it is, full time here at TIO Stadium with Southern Districts 18-9-117, defeating the Palmerston Magpies 7-9-51. Stick around, we've got the presentation of the Spirit of the Game medal in just a few moments' time. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please thank all the umpires for officiating with the spirit and heart of the game as they continue to make the game safe and enjoyable for all to participate in. We'll now present the Spirit of the Game medal with no more representative Mark Motlop. And for the Palmerston Magpies, it's player number 8, Josh Philo. And from Southern Districts, number 22, Jaden Schofield. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, would you please thank all the players, umpires and officials as part of the No More round. Still plenty of footy action here to come at TIO Stadium as part of the No More round this evening. At 5 o'clock we've got the Division 1 Southern Districts up against the Buffs, and what's set to be a cracking game at 7 o'clock tonight in the Men's Premier League. To the versus 3 on the ladder, with St Mary's up against the TIO Bombers at 7 o'clock tonight. So stick around, plenty more action still coming up here at TIO Stadium.